we're going to do is I'm going to give a slideshow and talk a little bit about what to expect on a quest. Then I'm going to take any questions that you have along the way and at the end. So the goal for tonight is that everybody leaves with a much better idea of what to expect from your quest experience and that you get all your questions answered. So let's get started. We've been running quests for 25 years at Camp Tawonga, and what we're all about is the mission of Camp Tawonga, which means on our quests we try to build positive self-esteem and self-image, create a cooperative community teaching kids really how to get along with one another, how to respect each other and work together. Tikkun Olam, a partnership with nature. Quest is all about connecting with the natural world, going to see the most beautiful places in California and in the Pacific Northwest, and spirituality and positive Jewish identification. So having an opportunity to experience Shabbat and Havdalah in nature and to participate in other creative Jewish programs that you, the questers, are going to help create. All throughout Quest, you're going to be helping to create your own experience. So we have 5 different quests this summer, and the first one, 6 days long, is a combination of being at Camp Tawonga and going backpacking in Yosemite. It's called A Taste of Quest. Then, during session 2, we have Sierra Slam, which I know a lot of you guys are going to be going on, which is a 2-week trip. Later in the summer, we have another 2-week trip called Surf and Turf. Is anybody here tonight going on Surf and Turf? Okay, great. One family. And at the same time, we have a 3-week quest for older kids to the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia called Northwest Canada. So for all of you who this summer are going on Sierra Slam or are going on Magical Mystery Tour, I just want to put it out there. Northwest Canada, a 3-week quest, is a great way to follow up your 2-week experience this summer if you're going to be entering 9th or 10th grade. Northwest Canada was our very first quest, and we've been running it for like over 25 years. And then during session 4, if like Sean or some others, you want more mystery, you want everything great about Quest, but you want to add the adventure of not knowing exactly what the itinerary is in advance, then we have our Magical Mystery Tour Quest for entering 9th and 10th graders. That's another great one to do after you go on Sierra Slam or after you go on Surf and Turf. So, no matter what quest you're going on, a couple things are going to be the same about every trip. Every trip has a backpacking trip, where you carry everything on your back into the woods for 2 nights or 3 nights and sleep under the stars. Every trip we travel in 8-passenger SUVs, so we spend time in the car, in the vans. Every trip goes to national parks and forests, you sleep under the stars, and there's work groups. Work groups means, basically, all the kids help out. So you might help setting up camp, you might help preparing dinner or cleaning up from dinner, you might help loading the trailer, you might help grocery shopping, but we all take turns helping out to really make the trip run smoothly. Every trip celebrates Shabbat. Every trip has great group experiences to really get the kids to know each other, to bond, to discover more who they are, and to just have fun and be silly together. Most of our trips have lots of kids on them who don't know each other before. Sometimes people come with a friend, sometimes not, but it's always a new group that's forming and coming together, and our leaders are really trained at how to get a group to bond like that. And then some kind of water sport. Could be surfing, could be kayaking, could be whitewater rafting, could be swimming, but that's always a part of every quest. Okay, nobody from tonight is going on the Taste of Quest. We're just going to skip on to the next one. But basically, Taste of Quest, here's Camp Tawonga. This is our residential site here. And a Taste of Quest goes to the residential site. They go on our challenge course, our ropes course. They go backpacking in Yosemite, and then they come back to Camp Tawonga. Okay, Sierra Slam. A lot of you guys are going on this trip. Now, this piece of paper that I put on the slide is available in your downloadable forms, so hopefully you've already seen it. And if you haven't, you should go to our website and download it. Here's the trip in a nutshell. You're going to start out driving to Yosemite. You're going to go on a day hike the first day. Then you're going to go on your backpacking trip for 2 nights and 3 days. When you come out, it's going to be Friday. You're coming out from the woods on Thursday, but on Friday you're going to be in Mammoth Lakes, which is on the eastern side of the Sierra. It's beautiful. And you'll spend the weekend there going to Mono Lake, going to Black Point, going to Bodie, which is a ghost town, and then working your way up to Lake Tahoe, and then you go whitewater rafting on the American River. And I'll show you some pictures of that. Dan, if you'll cue us up. Okay, so quickly, we start here in San Francisco. We drive out the 580, the 120, we get all the way to Yosemite. That's where we do our day hike and our backpacking trip. Then it's over the pass, Tioga Pass, south on 395 to Mammoth, and then working our way up past Mono Lake, up to Lake Tahoe, all the way up there, then over to the American River, and then back to San Francisco. So a couple things about that trip. Let's see where to start. Okay, right in the middle, that's Yosemite. We have the Eastern Sierra. There's some natural hot springs there. Lake Tahoe. That's the 395, which is that highway on the eastern side of the Sierra. Whitewater rafting on the American River. Swimming. The top picture is the tufas in Mono Lake, a very cool geological formation. Okay, Magical Mystery Tour. What can I say? I'm not going to tell you exactly what's happening on your trip. You won't know if you don't go. But you do know it's going to be similar to the other trips in terms of the types of activities you'll be doing. You just don't know what order they're going to happen in. So now, Dan, this next slide, you got to do it real fast. We're going to give you a quick preview, Magical Mystery Tour, of what might happen on your trip, but it's going to be real quick. Here we go. Oh no, just kidding, not yet. Before that, I can tell you some other things. It's in California. Don't think you're leaving the state. You're staying in California. You're going to be solving clues to figure out where you're going next. So every day your leaders will present you some kind of mystery for you to unravel, to decide, to figure out what's the next adventure on the trip. And in terms of parents being anxious about where your kids are, I can tell you that I always know where they are, and so do the other directors of Camp Tawonga and the quest supervisor. And we're in touch with the leaders every 2 to 3 days on the trip. So if, God forbid, you needed to reach your kids, we know exactly where they are, and we will get in touch with them. Okay, Dan. Here's the quick preview, and let's move on. Okay, so surf and turf. This is a great trip. It's basically going down the California coast. We go backpacking, then we go all the way down to Southern California. And Dan, take us to the next slide. And we go surfing, and we go kayaking down on the coast, and then we work our way back up. So a couple pictures. Surfing totally for beginners. You don't have to have ever gone surfing before. We'll teach you. It's 2 days of the clinic. The kayaking is really beautiful in the Channel Islands off the coast of Santa Barbara. And for anyone who's never been down the coast of California, it is just such spectacular scenery right here in our backyard. And this is a really beautiful trip with a lot of beaches. Okay, Northwest Canada. So this is a 3-week trip, which is great. We get 2 Shabbats, we get more outfitters, and Dan, if you'll take us to the next one. Basically, I'll show you where we go. We fly, actually, from the Oakland airport up to Seattle, and then we go backpacking and a day hike here on the Olympic Peninsula. Then we take a ferry up to go kayaking on the San Juan Islands, then up into British Columbia, where we go rock climbing in Squamish, which is one of the most world-class rock climbing sites. And again, it's set for beginners. Don't need any rock climbing experience to be able to learn from that. Then we come back down through Washington and Oregon and California, and we stop and see things like Mount St. Helens and Crater Lake. And then we go whitewater rafting in Northern California on the Klamath River before ending the trip back in the Bay Area. So here's a couple pictures from that quest. This is jumping into Crater Lake. This is, and it's incredibly deep, so I know this is kind of a scary picture maybe for parents, but it's like perfect jumping rock. This is rock climbing, whitewater rafting. It's another shot of Crater Lake. Here's the backpacking trip in the rainforest, the Hoh Rainforest. On the top, we've got some hiking on the beach on the Olympic Peninsula, going to a lavender farm, and picking up an awesome starfish from some tide pools.